Hello and welcome back. This is Steve at Bucks Coins and welcome to the channel. Today I'm going to take you through some coins that I've taken out of my pre-decimal pile and have congregated together for a quick video. Well, not a quick video, for a video. The first coin is from one, whoops, let's just take you in a bit. This is a half crown or a 2 and 6, or if the very early days are decimal, 12.5p. It is from Elizabeth's reign, Elizabeth II. It has a shield with England, Scotland and Ireland on it, inside the shield. I believe that the reason why Wales wasn't included as its own separate country, even though in effect it is at the time it was classed as a principality rather than a separate country within the United Kingdom. On top of the shield you have a crown. I believe it's looks like the St Edward crown, and you have the initials E and R either side of the shield. I can't quite make out what these two characters are at the bottom of the shield there. However, you've got the half crown. Now this was the coin itself. This was the biggest one that was in normal day-to-day use. There was a one called a crown, which was 5 shillings, but that very rarely got used as everyday coinage and used to be very rarely seen for exchange of goods. But so this was one that was probably the highest one, single coin that was used an awful lot. The date on this coin is okay, Stephen, where's the date gone? Oh, there you go. A very good year, 1960. A very good year for obvious reasons. Moi was born in 1960, so extremely good year. Give me age away there. The next one down, we have two coins, both the same value, sometimes called 2 bob, sometimes called a florin. Those were the two major names. They're known as 2 shillings, 2 bob, a florin. And it's nice that we have two from two different reigns here. You've got the two monarchs facing themselves, George and his daughter Elizabeth, but on the back they are different. This one here has the Tudor rose in the centre, and then you have going round the outside of that Tudor rose, which is inside a cartouche. It's got its own, you've got the symbols of the Thistle of Scotland, the Welsh leek I think is also on there, is it? Yes, the Welsh leek and the shamrock going around this outer circle and then going out towards a beaded edge. On this one you have one central rose, and then you have the Thistle of Scotland on the left as you're looking, and on the right is a shamrock. Now the Elizabeth's coin is 1963. The coin from her father is 1948. But it's just interesting seeing the two monarchs' coins side by side, the reverses side by side, as they are so different. The next one is a George VI, Queen's father. It's a shilling coin, also known as a bob or 12 pence. or 12D as it was, 12 pennies. We used to use these a lot as a bobber job week when we was in the Cubs and the Scouts. This one is an English version of the coin. There is an English and a Scottish version and a standard version. This is the English one. It has the lion standing on top of a crown. It's standing on all fours, whereas the Scottish version of this would normally have the lion standing on its hind legs, or rampant as it's called. This coin dates from 1947. I don't have any mintage figures for it, unfortunately. They are fairly highly minted coins, but they're still nice to have. Now, the next set of coins are mainly Elizabethan sixpences. So we got 1, 2, 3, 4, and a 5th one. And we also have a George VI sixpence there. Now the back to all of these I'll show you in a second, but these 4 that I have in my hand, they dated 1955, 1958, 1965, and the one that's very sort of 1961, that one's very toned and a little bit dirty on that side. So we're left with these 2 now, 1 of each. You have George VI and his daughter again, current Queen. Now on the back of these once again have the flowers of the nations on it. You got the shamrock, the leek, the thistle and the rose, all going into a central point where the stems sort of mix together. This one, on the other hand, the George one, is the crown above the cipher of GR6 with 6. You got GV1R, which is the George VI cipher with the crown, and it's not the one that the Queen wears. I'm not sure which crown it is, to be honest. And it's just got value underneath of 6pence in text, and you have a date of 1950 either side of the cipher. The Elizabeth II one, which is the flowers of the nation, is, what year are you? Come on, 1958. So either end of the decade we have the 2 different coins. I do like this particular version, the one with the monarch's cipher on it. The flowers of the nation is now a very used sort of symbol. The next 2 coins are both halfpenny bits, as we used to call them, or threepence it was also known as. It's a brass coin, it's a brass version rather than the silver one, and these have, I believe, what is called the thrift flower. This one is 1944, which was just before the end of the Second World War, and the next one is 1938, which was just before the beginning of the Second World War. So you have the 2 coins here that span either side of the war. The standard, what we used to term as the threepenny bit, it's the castellated version. It's bronze or brass type in colour. I never really liked these particular coins. I think I preferred, in my old way, being a bit old-fashioned, I like the silver threepenny bits, but my collection of that I will be showing at some point. So, 2 threepenny bits. I'm then going to miss the pennies because I've got a few of them. These ones are both Elizabethan, Elizabeth II. They date from, more tarnished one is 1954 and 1962. I don't think it's 54 anyway. Certainly looks like it. Yeah, 1954 and 1952. They show on the back the golden hind, and they're both in the same sort of water, which is like a roughly driven water. Right. This one, however, is an Edward VIII coin, Edward VII coin, Edward VIII. He didn't have any coins minted in the UK. Edward VIII, so it's going to range from between 1901, when his mother died, Victoria, through to his own death in 1910. So his coins actually started in 1902, was the first coin with his portrait on in the UK. And this one looks like 1904, without actually checking it under a microscope, and it is a little bit dirty, this coin. It's a bit difficult to make out because of the... Yeah, it's 1904. On the back, in comparison with more modern halfpennies, it has the portrait of Britannia on the back. She's facing the left. She's facing right out of the coin, sorry. And this one is quite badly worn around the edges. It's slightly, although it's smooth, it's slightly out of shape with a true round. It sort of goes in there and then comes out here and then goes back in again. So it's ever so slightly worn. You can't see where the top of the trident is, and you can just about make out O and N and then E N N Y and the bottom end of the P. So it's not a hugely readable coin, but then again it's 117 years old at this point. We're in December 2021 when this has been recorded, so this is 117 years old. I think I might be a bit battered and worn if I make it to 117. Next, we have several pennies. We have one from George VI. We have one from his father, George V. We have two from his father, George V. We have one from George VI's daughter, Elizabeth II. And we have another one from George VI. So, are there any differences? Well, on the back of the Elizabeth coin you have, of course, Britannia. Now this one is 1966, so this is the last but 1 year before they stopped minting these coins. Quite high mintage, nowhere near as high as 1967, because fun fact, if you didn't know it, 1967 coins were also minted in 68, 69 and 70. That go to make up the number, but none of them had the year minted on them if they were going into circulation. However, there were some proof sets in some of those years where then when they printed out the proof set they actually used the correct year in which they were manufactured. Interesting. Next one is George VI, the Queen's father, and the date on this coin is 1949. We've seen the portrait for a while. Again, on the back is Britannia. With this one we do have a lighthouse in the background on the left hand side of the coin as you're looking. I'm not sure if it's got the ship on there. No, it doesn't have the ship. On a slightly earlier than his reign, you do have a ship in the back. It's particularly prevalent on Victorian coins if they're not too badly worn. This is George the Fifth. First one is 1918, and it's not a Heaton or King's Norton mint mark, unfortunately. I do have a couple of those, but it'd be nice to come across them in the wild when you bought them in a big bag of coins. On this one, we don't either have the lighthouse or the ship on the sea at the back of Britannia. Britannia is fully minted, however we can't see the trident does touch the very edge of the coin. I don't know if that's significant. There is heavy wear around underneath the legend part that's penny. There's a big worn area. That's an entirely different colour to the rest of the coin. Now I don't know whether the coin was caught at something, I don't know. But the tarnishing on this coin and the patina over the years is quite dark. It may well be that they're not 100% sure what's happened to this coin, the people who are in the background. It's a shame, but there you go, what can you do? Next one again is nowhere near as tarnished and is very clear in the writing around the outer edge. You can make out very much what it says. And again on this one, the one penny is very clear. As to the date of 1932, there's no lighthouse or ship, and the middle and right hand prong of the three, as you look, the bottom prong and the middle prong do actually touch the beading on the outer edge. Now I'm not sure whether this is significant on this particular coin. I know on a few of them, a few dates, that the prongs of tridents touching the side of the coin is significant. It's something to do with either the coin shifting during minting, or has the mints, the master not being correct in some way, or has been designed to be like that. The final coin in this particular hunt again is another George V. It is quite heavily tarnished in the sense that it's got a lot of patina on it. On the high areas of the coin, what we might term the high areas, on his face in particular, his neck, the more into the middle of the portrait that you see seems to be lighter in colour. Now that may well be the fact that this is the high part of the coin and it's slowly being weared away down to where the rest of the coin is sat. So it's something that's out of people's control. So unless you go put them into flips as soon as you get them, they're always going to be damage of some description on there if it's in general circulation. On this one it's quite nicely patinaed in the fact that you can see a difference in the sea and the land and Britannia. It's all very much. The shield is worn. The design of the shield is not the easiest thing to see on this particular coin. It's been worn away, but the rest of it seems to be fairly well intact. So, are pre-decimal coins one of your favourites? I remember growing up and using these coins, unfortunately, or fortunately, whichever way you look at it. So I do have a certain feeling towards them. I remember a lot of this when we first, when it first came in, and people needed to be helped converting the old pre-decimal coinage into decimal coinage, and going through with two wheels. One you turn to the price in pre-decimal money, which then showed them the price of what's the same price for the goods in new decimal money. And this did help out, to a certain extent, helped out the more elderly people who were having problems, and even some of the younger ones that were having problems with the conversion. However, I'll leave it there with you. I hope you have enjoyed this journey through pre-decimal coins. If you are having a hunt, I hope you have a successful one and you find the coins you're looking for. If you're buying coins, wherever you're buying from, I hope you can get the coin that you need and want for the price that you want to pay. If you have enjoyed this, please give me the thumbs up. It helps with the algorithm that will allow my videos to go in front of new audiences. Also, could you subscribe if you're a returner or even somebody who's new to the channel and have enjoyed the presentation I've given, or should I say the hunt that I've shown you. And until we do meet again on this channel, which I hope will not be too far into the future, bye bye for now. Ta-da!